Wubin followed Yeren back inside the yacht and sat down next to her, studying her face carefully as he asked if she was truly certain about what she had just confessed. Yeren nodded without hesitation, insisting she would never lie about something so important, and explaining that she simply wanted to uncover the truth and move on with her life. Wubin watched her closely, reminding her that sneaking around behind people's backs was never the right way to handle such delicate matters. He told her she could have come to him first. He would have found a way to talk to Minsu and Sonjin properly. Yeren only shrugged and admitted she hadn't wanted to come across as unstable or desperate, which was why she had planned to investigate in secret. Without warning, she reached for Wubin's hand, her fingers wrapping lightly around his. Wubin glanced down at her hand on his and raised an eyebrow, silently questioning what she was planning next. Yeren, with a small, hopeful smile, pleaded with him to help her get something from Minsu, just enough to run a DNA test. Wubin didn't answer immediately. Instead, he kept his eyes fixed on her, weighing her request before calmly asking what she would do for him in return if he agreed to help. Yeren let out a soft laugh and promised that if he helped her, she would stop blackmailing him and dragging his name and the company through the mud. She would make a public statement admitting that everything she had said was a lie, clearing his name once and for all. For a moment, they simply stared at each other, two people bound together by secrets and mutual benefit. Finally, Wubin held out his hand for a handshake. Without missing a beat, Yeren placed her hand in his, sealing the deal. He assured her that he would figure out the best way to handle it, and that she, in return, needed to keep her word. Yeren nodded in agreement, her lips curling into a satisfied smile. Changing the mood, she stood up and stepped back, teasing him about how disappointed he must be that their engagement wouldn't lead to an actual wedding. Wubin laughed, shaking his head as he told her he would have never married her. If he had, he would have made her life a living nightmare, not a fairy tale. He added that he was never interested in loving her, only in making her regret ever dragging him into her twisted plan. Yeren chuckled and called him cold, pretending to pout as she claimed she wasn't so bad. She joked that he would have fallen for her eventually, and that their story could have been perfect. Enemies turned lovers. She teased that she had even heard rumors about his taste for women of color, so she was convinced he would have ended up loving her. Wubin rose from his seat and stepped toward her, leaning in close enough that she instinctively closed her eyes, half expecting a kiss. But instead of the warmth she braced for, she heard him laugh softly in her ear. He told her that he was attracted only to women he truly wanted, and that race or color never mattered to him. He warned her that she was lucky the marriage never happened, because he had no intention of ever playing out her fantasy. If anything, he would have made sure she remained his enemy until the bitter end. Yeren opened her eyes, glaring at him as she shoved him back, calling him cold and wicked. Wubin only smirked and held out his hand, gesturing toward the ring on her finger. She frowned at him in confusion until she realized what he wanted, the engagement ring. Smirking, she refused, telling him she wouldn't give it back until their deal was complete and reminding him that technically she was still his fiancée. She stepped closer again, her tone playfully daring as she warned him to be careful not to fall for her during the little time they still had. With a small laugh, she spun on her heel and walked out, leaving Wubin standing there on the yacht, shaking his head at how unpredictable and relentless she was. As he watched her disappear into the night, Wubin felt the weight of what he had agreed to. He knew he needed to plan his next steps carefully. Somehow, he would have to find the right way to approach Minsu with the truth, without shattering the fragile peace she had finally found.